What is up? Today is the day that Blizzard finally released Doomfist. I was watching Seagull stream when the release of the hero dropped on PTR, and he looks like he is an absolute blast to play. Don't know if that means I'm going to start playing Overwatch again. He's only in PTR. I don't usually spend too much time playing the test region, but looks like he is insanely fun. Going to be a super difficult hero, very high skill ceiling hero to play, and I generally like those types of things. So far today's been pretty laid back. There hasn't really been too much going on. I'm waiting on the results of some negotiations, and once the paperwork comes in, I'll put my signature on it pretty much ASAP, assuming all the terms and everything are what's been mostly agreed to so far. And then again, Friday we'll probably have some news for you guys. Friday is tomorrow, so you're not going to have to wait too long. Hoping to get some stuff announced tomorrow, Friday, the 7th of July. Right now, what I'm probably going to do, Eli's getting a little wiggly and whiny, so I think I'm going to let him out. We're going to go outside, maybe play for a little bit. It's another very hot day today. The AC so far has been keeping up. All the blinds in the house are shut. All the windows are super securely closed. And I've taken basically every precaution to make sure that the house temperature stays way lower than it was yesterday because it was just miserable. But for right now, going to take Eli out, probably with a couple of the other dogs, maybe run them for a few minutes. It doesn't take very long to wear a dog down when it's this hot out, and you got to be very careful not to work them too hard. So I'm going to let them out, let them do their thing, maybe throw the ball a little bit, come back inside, continue to watch some of these Doomfist streams, and just try to enjoy the rest of the day. It's hard to believe that tomorrow is actually Friday. I'm contemplating going to see the new Spider-Man movie. I love going to the movies, and I love all the superhero movies, even the bad ones. Still go see them for usually opening night or opening weekend. But if I don't go tonight, then I probably will go tomorrow night or Saturday. Let me know if you guys are planning to go see the Spider-Man movie this weekend. I'm curious the percentage of my viewer base that goes and sees movies in the movie theater on opening night. That's it for right now. I'm going to go let the dogs out. Catch you guys in a bit. So right now I'm on hold with the bank. I have a checking account and a savings account, just basic accounts. But then I had another account, and I don't really know what it did or what it was for. I remember when I got it, it was supposed to provide me some kind of benefit, but it's now the balance in that account goes down $30 every month, even though I don't use it. All right, thank you. I don't think there's any benefits for me to have it, and it's costing me like $30 or $40 a month in fees, which is just essentially wasting $30 or $40 a month. So if I can just transfer the remaining money in that account to my other checkings account, and then close out the account. That's what I'd like to do today. Okay, here's the good and the bad. The good is that entire phone call from the very beginning. The good is that entire phone call from the very first person I spoke to the very last person I just hung up with only took 7 minutes. It took me 7 minutes to figure out that the account was doing nothing for me, to transfer the balance in that account to my other account, and to close it out completely. So that's the good news. The bad news is for the past couple months I've had this account, and it's cost me $30 or $40 in fees every month, and it was basically adding no value to my life. So I'm kind of pissed that it took me this long to actually take action on something that only took 7 minutes of my time, but I feel good that I finally addressed it. I'm no longer going to be wasting $30 or $40 every month on something that I'm getting no value from, and I can move on with my life. In other news, Cloud9 just made it to the playoff stage at ESL Cologne, and so there's now 3 North American teams in the playoffs. That's pretty awesome. So this is something that I've talked about in public or publicly before, and I've never talked about it on the vlog. When players have issues with contracts, or if they want just an extra set of eyes but they don't have the money or they don't want to spend the money to work with a lawyer, I've offered my services to just review the contract, look things over. I'm not a lawyer, I do not pretend to be one on the internet, but I've seen most of the contract templates that are out there these days, and when a player has questions and they're not understanding what something means, I usually take a look and provide them with some guidance. I just saw some of the salaries that not very good teams in Counter-Strike are being paid right now, and it blew my mind to the point that I'm considering making a full-time comeback as a player and an in-game leader in a region where in-game leadership, it can be priced at an insane premium, because I think I can make bank, I can have fun, I can play games, and my mind is blown. I can't, man, it's unbelievable. Like we're not talking like tier 1 teams. So I know the tier 1 teams in North America are making a lot of money, but they're also kind of earning it, right? They're winning tournaments or coming close to winning tournaments. I wish they're coming close to winning tournaments. They're playing well in all the online leagues. They're generating prize money. They've got big streamers. I totally get that. But for some of these other teams, what they're being paid, it's just unbelievable. I don't think it's sustainable. I think it's a bit of a bubble. But just based on what I just saw in this contract, I'm like, man, maybe I should make the comeback and let's do it for like another year, make some money, travel the world. It's wow. Just wow. That's all. ESPN just released breaking news about the Overwatch League. There are now 6 confirmed cities, and they didn't name everybody that acquired one of the city slots, but they did name a few. The Immortals and Energy have each spent $20 million. The Immortals for the Los Angeles slot, and Energy for the San Francisco slots. That's 2 cities in California that are confirmed, $20 million each. The New York Mets are going to have the New York slot, and the New England Patriots are going to have the Boston slot. There's also going to be slots in Shanghai and South Korea, but they didn't name who has those slots. Now, a lot of people have immediately just started saying it's a bubble, it's a bubble, it's a bubble. The game hasn't proven that it's going to warrant that kind of money. The thing is, the people throwing the money around for these slots, $20 million is nothing to them. And this is something that I've talked about for a while. There are a lot of these esports businesses that are super propped up by this external money. It's going to be tremendously difficult, not impossible, but tremendously difficult for these organizations to recoup $20 million. It says it will be paid over time, and we don't know the terms of those deals, so it's not like they just cut a check for $20 million. But even if it's over a fairly long period of time, you got to contextualize that, to think about that in a more business conscious way. How long is it going to take for them to make $20 million and $1 to see a positive return on that investment? It's hard to believe that it's possible. I think it can be done. Really curious to see what these organizations do. And honestly, I'm pretty excited that the New England Patriots from the NFL are going to get in, and the New York Mets, even though I'm a Yankees fan, are going to come in from Major League Baseball. It's cool to see the traditional sports organizations get in. I don't want to say it lends legitimacy, because who fucking cares what people think external to our world of esports? We know that it's legitimate, but it's still big names to have, and I think that helps kind of everybody to bring in the names that people are more familiar with, and when they have teams that compete in this, it just kind of helps it bubble up into the mainstream, which I think will help everybody in the long term. It was an interesting report. Honestly, wasn't expecting to see breaking news like that, especially about the Overwatch League today. But I've been working on things, on my end, and the things that I've got to deal with for our own news that'll probably come out either tomorrow or Saturday. Just saw that article came out, and I knew immediately that I was going to have to read it, react to it, share it with the appropriate people. And pretty big news. That's a lot of money being spent in esports right now, and hopefully being spent wisely. I guess we'll have to wait and see on the Overwatch League, but when you combine that news with some of the things I talked about earlier in the day with player salaries in CSGO and some of the things that are cooking, just the entire scene is just flooded with money right now. And I think it's really important that organizations and that these business people come in with a plan, with some sort of idea to build something sustainable, something that can grow, something that can pay the bills, something that generates profit, and not something that comes in, sets money on fire, and then 12 to 24 months from now is dead and completely gone, and brings the entire scene down as a result. We're going to have to wait and see when it comes to things like the Overwatch League. I do think the Overwatch League can be successful. It's just, there's a lot of question marks still out there, and without having all the information, it's hard to make a guess one way or the other. But with some of these other things, like I said, organizations need to figure out a way to be profitable, to generate revenue, to be sustainable. Otherwise, the long term, it's actually going to hurt more than it helps. So what I'm going to do right now is something that I haven't done in a while, and that's to fire up my laptop and lay down in bed, but sitting up, hammer out 1 or 2 things, make sure everything is prepared for tomorrow, and try to wind the night down like 4 hours earlier than normal. I don't know what time tomorrow I'm going to get up. I haven't figured out what the schedule is going to be and when we push the news, assuming that everything is good, and go through all those things. I haven't ironed out all those details just yet. But I do know that it's going to be a very busy, very long day tomorrow. So I want to make sure that I am as prepared as I possibly can be tonight and as well rested as I can be for tomorrow, because I know it's going to be crazy, and I'm actually super excited.